All right, here we go. Let's dive into calculating the gradient. This will be as smooth as a straight line. Ha ha! But seriously, don't be too worried if gradients seem confusing. Just remember, it's all about the rise over the run. So imagine we're given 2 points. Point A with coordinates 2 and 3 and point B with coordinates 5 and 11. Our task? Find the gradient between these 2 points. Now, if you need a moment, feel free to pause and think about what you already know about gradients. Okay, let's dive in. The first thing we're doing here is recalling the basic gradient formula. The gradient or slope of a line between 2 points, let's call them x1, y1 and x2, y2, is calculated by subtracting the y values and then dividing by the difference in the x values. It's the change in y divided by the change in x, which gives us our gradient. All right, let's turn to the next slide to see how this plays out with our specific numbers. Now we're putting the numbers from our points A and B into the formula. So we take 11, which is the y value of B, and subtract 3, the y value of A. This gives us 8. Then we do the same with the x values, 5 minus 2, which gives us 3. Now we have a fraction, 8 over 3, and that's our gradient. In simpler terms, this result, 8 over 3, means that for every 3 units we move horizontally along the x-axis, the line rises by 8 units up the y-axis. So the gradient is essentially telling us how steep this line is. Take a look at the visual on the right. If you ever feel like words are confusing, diagrams like this really help. You can see points A and B plotted there, with a line drawn between them. And next to it, the label shows our gradient of 8 over 3, reminding us how the line moves. Now, let's wrap things up with a summary. So in this example, we calculated the gradient between points A and B, and we found it to be 8 over 3. Remember, all we did was apply the gradient formula, which uses the difference in y values over the difference in x values. Super useful, right? Anytime you need to measure how one thing changes relative to another, gradients can give you a really clear answer. Thanks so much for watching, and hey, if you found this helpful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, keep your gradients positive. Let's rise and run, let's rise and run.